They tryna turn Trenton into Baby Flint. Been signs by depression on the billboards ever since. 100 years ago we was lynched. Now they use germ warfare to kill us. I'm convinced, got the evidence. I look around and it's evident. Then go down to City Hall and see so much negligence. Real art is intelligent. A true artist sends messages that speak to your intelligence. They fought and died so I can do my thing. Not to get drunk and high or join no gang. I will not let none of you die in vain. For my people I bang, bang, bang. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. They say post-traumatic slavery disorder's fake, but I just tell them all to wake up. Everything we went through, what a weight and a rape, bro. It's in our genetic makeup. So I am my ancestors from block to block. Let's build like it's Tetris. We must unite, link up like a necklace. They fought and died and we disrespected. So I come to correct it. The legacy they left I protected. We only think about self and neglected. You're African but yet you rejected. No. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. I do. I go.
Peace and blessings, everybody. It's the Ego Beloved here, coming to you live Friday evening. I hope everyone is well and is having a great, blessed Friday. And where you are tuned in from, just drop in the comment section below where you're tuned in from, and we'll bring you up on the screen, shout you out. Again, I hope everyone is having a blessed Friday so far. Hope everyone has had a great week so far. And I know everyone is getting ready for some rest. Hopefully get some productive rest and get some other things done over the weekend. The strong end, we want to always strong end, not the weekend. We want to do the strong end, not the week. We're not weak, but yeah. So if anyone is tuned in, drop your location in the comments, and we'll shout you out. And it's been quite a while since we last been on here. You're now tuned in to the Eco Beloved. I'm live streaming on my page, the Eco Beloved, and also we're live streaming simulcasting on New Freedom Exchange. So shout out to anyone who's watching from either platform, New Freedom Exchange, on Facebook and on YouTube. Definitely subscribe, hit the like button, etc., and share this post. Share this live stream. Share the live stream. Tell your friends to come on in as we're discussing. As you're scrolling on the bottom of your screen, of the states, the Northeast region, Atlantic region, and also the New England region as well. And currently, that same system that we're talking about, has brought some rain and snow to the state of California and the West Coast, and has brought several feet to the Sierra Mountains of California, to the mountainous ranges of California. And they received 4, 5, 6 feet of snow, fresh powder, to the ski resorts for those who like skiing, snowboarding, sledding, and those type of winter activities. They've been in a serious snow drought, but overall, the West Coast has been in a serious drought, specifically the state of California, but also in the Four Corners region, as Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah has been under extreme drought. So any welcome rainfall and snow that we do receive in the mountainous ranges is valued and is appreciated, and that's okay. I'm back. I'm back. Sorry about the technical difficulty there. That was a blooper. But yeah. So we have the storm that's affecting the West Coast right now. Currently speaking, in the state of California. So anyone that's in California right now experiencing rain from the up northern part of California all the way down to Southern California, San Francisco, getting down to portions of LA as well. It could cause some mudslides because it's been so dry. It could cause some mudslides. Definitely avalanche alert in the mountainous ranges of California due to the heavy snow that has fallen, and also that we have had snow that's quite heavy in water content fall on top of snow that's not too heavy in water content. Usually that does not, it creates a downward trend, if you would. So that snow is going to come down. It could potentially come down as avalanche in that area. So definitely be careful. I would take a break and wait for this storm to pass by if you're going to go out skiing to that region. But there's another storm that's actually behind that one that we're just talking about right now that's already made landfall on the West Coast. There's another storm behind that in the Pacific Ocean that will make landfall right behind this one as this one makes its track across the Midwest and into the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, and New England region, potentially later this weekend, Sunday going into Monday and Tuesday timeframe. So first things first, we want to pull up the first website of the evening. We're going to weather.gov for the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. We're going to share the screen. We're going to bring up the screen now for everyone to see. And if the engineer can bring up the first link, weather.gov. There we go. So this is the list of watches and warnings that has been issued across the United States. And I want to bring everyone's attention. We're going to look at the radar, but first we're going to look at the watches and warnings. So if we can go right to the state of Illinois, if we can go right to Chicago, if we can pinpoint Chicago. Yeah, that sounds about right. All right, so this is the state of Chicago, and we can probably click it again, but if not, that's fine. Yeah, there we go. And if we can click in to the advisory that's issued for Chicago first, just click into the winter storm warning that's in effect for Chicago. This is out of the National Weather Service. This is the language for the National Weather Service that issues storm predictions. This storm that we are seeing in the West Coast will make its way track eastward towards the Midwest, and winter storm warning is in effect for the city of Chicago for heavy wet snow to take place between the time period of Saturday afternoon, that's tomorrow. So if you're not already prepared, so you have for tonight, rest of this evening, and tomorrow morning to get really prepared, because the snow will pick up in intensity Saturday night going into early Sunday. And is in effect, the warning is in effect from 3 o'clock tomorrow to about 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's on Sunday. And again, heavy wet snow from a total snow accumulations of about 5 to 9 inches, and the winds gusting up to 35 miles per hour. So they will be blowing snow potentially here. So we can exit out of here, out of Chicago. And I want to go back again, hit the back arrow again. I'm going to back out, back to the national map. X that out for the feedback. Let's go to the state of Virginia. Let's go to DC. If you can find DC on the map, North Virginia. Go move your cursor north. Move the cursor north. Okay, well, that's Wakefield, man. Come on, man. Come on up. Come on up. Come on, engineer. Let's go up a little bit more. North to the blue shaded. Go back. This is a Winterstone watch. Go to Maryland. Click Maryland. Perfect. Bam. Baltimore. The Baltimore office and Washington D.C. office actually share. The two cities actually share the national their National Weather Service. So the information out of Arlington. This is out of Arlington, Virginia. Winterstone watch is in effect for the counties of Prince George's County, all of basically the counties surrounding Prince George's County, getting into Baltimore, getting into DC, for the potential for this storm system that we're just named to make that track over to the Mid-Atlantic region. This is in effect from late Saturday night into late Sunday night. Now, the potential snow accumulation is 4 to 6 inches. This is relatively speaking, this is the mid-range in terms of snow accumulations. Obviously, depending on the track of the storm system, this could be on a range from 4 to 6 or more like 6 to 12 inches. For right now, the general consensus is that take the middle approach, that snow is becoming more likely for this region. Now, we still have 24 hours, still have tonight's runs of the computer models, which we'll talk about in a second. We have tonight's runs of the computer models and tomorrow morning runs of the computer models, which will be key in terms of the guidance for the region, including from DC all the way up to Boston. So right now, this is ahead just to prep. So if you are in Virginia, Maryland, start thinking about preparing as the watch is ready for the next 24, 36 hours. So let's back out of this guidance here, back to the United States map. And I want us now to go look at the radar. So if we go scroll up on the screen under the toolbar, we scroll up, we're gonna go underneath radar. We can do that. Yes. All right. So this was going on generally. If we can make the radar just a little bit bigger, I think we can hit that plus sign. Can you hit the plus sign? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Nice. Beautiful. And I want us to move to the west, move towards the west coast. This is where our storm system is right now. So you see there is some snow demonstrated by that darker gray color in the Wasatch Mountains of Utah. Getting into Idaho, there's some precipitation of rain and snow in snow, mainly the mountains regions of Arizona, but rain down to the southern region. This system will then pick up its pace. The system will pick up its pace as it heads to the Midwest, and then eventually to the Northeast and Atlantic region. So we're going to backtrack out of this, go back out of this. If we press the back arrow, go back out, and then we're going to pull up a forecast map. If we back out of this particular map and go back to the home page. Yeah, if we go back out to the home page, and we're going to show the forecast map, and not this one, but the one on the home page. If we get the hit back arrow, or maybe it may have to exit out, and I think this is it may have to exit out and then go back into the website again. Yeah, so we're going to exit out and go back into the website again, because that's a pop-up. It's a pop-up radar, so sometimes it doesn't allow us to go back into the website. So we're going to go back into the website, and then we're going to bring up the forecast map on the National Weather Service map that will show the progress of the storm system. Okay, can you go to forecast maps? And you go to forecast maps, and then we're going to go into the national forecast. You just click that. No, that's the fire outlook. We're not looking into that. Hold on, can you scroll down just a little bit on the toolbar for a second? Yes, this is short range forecast. Can you go to the 24-hour loop, the 24-hour underneath the short range? Great. All right, so let's see. Now this is 24. We're going to do the 24, 36, and then the 48. We're going to do that in increments. So right now, what we're looking at right now is that in the central portion of the country, you see that low pressure system that's just above around Kansas and just north of Texas and Oklahoma. That is the storm system that is pulling out the West Coast. That's pulled out now. It's pulling out into the Corn Belt area. We call it the Corn Belt, the Bible Belt, also known as Tornado Alley as well. Out ahead of it is rain in Kansas, rain in Arkansas and Oklahoma, because it's relatively warm air that's being pulled up from the Gulf of Mexico. In the north of that, you're going to see a stripe of blue soon develop in the colder regions of where there's a lot of cold air coming down from Canada. It's Minnesota. You're going to see a stripe in Minnesota. You're going to see a stripe in Iowa, then again in Chicago and Wisconsin. And just to bring everyone's attention to the West Coast briefly, another low pressure system is sitting out behind, just about to make its landfall in northern California into Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon. And out ahead is in the southeast, mid-Atlantic, and the New England is pretty quiet. Saturday is going to be dry for most of us. We're going to get a lot of things done on Saturday. If you're preparing for the potential storm system, you have time. If you're living from New England, mid-Atlantic, northeast, down to the southeast, it's pretty dry on Saturday. So if we can back out, if we go back out, we're going to go click on the 36-hour loop and then the 48-hour loop. And then if anyone has any questions, comments, or tuned in from where you are, let us know where you're tuned in from, and we can pull you up, and we can acknowledge you all as well. So if we can leave the screen and go back to the forecast map, can we leave it? Or is it a pop-up too? If we can go back to the main page, that'll be beneficial. Okay, can we click the 36-hour loop? Okay. Now, this is intense. Now, the storm system, thank you. Let's zoom in just a little bit. The storm system is sitting right now in the state of Missouri. And as you see, that darker blue and lighter blue color, that's all snow up north. That's Des Moines, Iowa, Chicago, Green Bay, Milwaukee. Well, Green Bay, you probably get on the lighter side of accumulations because you're on the very northern fringe. But Milwaukee, if you're in Milwaukee, Des Moines, Iowa, Chicago. If you're getting into Indianapolis, it'll be snowing in Indianapolis. This is later Saturday going. More than likely, this is the Saturday afternoon, more so Saturday afternoon going to Saturday evening time period. Snow will start to overspread Chicago, Indianapolis, and soon knock on the door of Cleveland, and then soon knock on the door of Detroit, going later into Saturday evening, Saturday night. Again, the pink, that darker pink color that you see, that's just south of the snow line. That's the rain snow line. That is where we're going to possibly see some sleet mixing in, or some possibility of some freezing rain, which is that ice that we don't like, which is, just as bad as snow in terms of it being dangerous. So we'll have a period of sleet or mixed bag of precipitation, southern Iowa getting to central Illinois and southern Indiana, and parts of also northern Kentucky and southern Ohio. And then just plain rain for St. Louis, plain rain for Kentucky and Tennessee, and getting into eventually the deep south, which is Mississippi, Alabama. So again, we'll squeeze out a dry night, Saturday night, in Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, and the New England region. But it's not on our doorstep. So we're going to go to the 48-hour loop, and we're going to see where it ends up on the 40-hour loop. Can we go back on the screen? And we go back to the home page. We're going to put up the 40-hour map, which is the last map in this loop of the short range. All right, this is 48 hours. This is late Saturday night going to Sunday morning. And more than likely, this is Sunday morning now, 48 hours away. And we have still snowing in Chicago, still snowing in Indiana, now snowing heavily into Cleveland, snowing in Detroit, and now snowing in Pittsburgh. And then snow starts to overspread, getting to central PA. That's overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning. It is now snowing in Maryland, DMV, DC, Maryland, the Northern Virginia area, also Baltimore, and then snowing start to get into some of southern Jersey, and perhaps more than likely getting into a little bit of the action in Delaware. And then keyword now, still raining, and now overspreading Miss Alabama, going to Atlanta, state of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina will be just plain rain at this point. Now, and we have a question in the comments in reference to will this pass by PA by Monday? The answer would be no. Actually, we're going to show that if we leave this site, we're now going to the computer model guidance, and we're going to pull up tropicaltidbits.com, our friends at tropicaltidbits.com, which is an open source website that allows us to see the models and to have a discussion for the general public. As the engineer brings that up, and we have a discussion on the short range and more so the long range, which is going into our Monday time period. Okay, beautiful. So this is the first model, is the American model, which is the GFS model. And we're going to move this up. Right now, it's at the set time for today. Well, 7 o'clock earlier, 50 minutes ago. So we're going to move this up in time. So we're going to move it up slowly. Actually, we're going to skip. Can we move this up? Scroll up on the toolbar a second. Yeah. Let's move this up 36, hour 36. Can I go to hour 36? 036. Is that available? Okay. I just want people to show another way of seeing this. The short range that the National Weather Service has is due to, again, models that we take guidance from the GFS, the European model from out of Europe, and quite a few others, and we combine them to make a trend. If we see trends, then that's what's going to come out in the short range. That informs the short range, which is the 3 to 4 or 5 day forecast that you see. And the GFS is usually one of those short range models, or one of those models that we look at in terms of the guidance for the next 4 or 5 days. So in generally speaking, this matches pretty well with the National Weather Service because, again, they're coming from the same guidance. So right now, hour 36, it's snowing in Chicago, which we said. It's going to snowing in Milwaukee. It's snowing in central northern Indiana, and it's getting snow into central Ohio, and then rain to the south. So let's move it up another to hour. What's the next hour? Hour 36. After hour 36, the next hour after that is hour 42. Okay, now hour 42 shows that this storm system in a nice setup, snowing in Chicago still, snowing in Cleveland, snowing in Detroit. This could be some warm air that takes over in the state of Indiana. So if we could get some mixing in here in Indianapolis, going into northern Indiana, so that could hold accumulations down there. But definitely all snow seems like a good bet. It's all snow in Chicago, all snow in Detroit, all snow in Cleveland, and then rain to the south. I want us to also point out that there is a high pressure that's sitting in Canada. If we scroll up on the screen, or back up a little bit in the screen so we can see, this is key, crucial alignment here. This is crucial alignment. That high pressure that sits right there, and when we start moving this thing up, it doesn't move, it doesn't budge, meaning that it's pouring in that cold air downstate, down through Canada, going to upstate New York, going to New England, down into PA, straight down into the Appalachian Mountains, and straight down to North Carolina. That's why there's, in fact, we could get some pink in here, and that pink is indicative of the fact that there's some cold air that's damming in the mountains. So when there's some cold air that dams in the mountains of Appalachians, what we get is that ice, because it's the cold air is nowhere for it to go. It's just flowing right now. It's just flowing down. So we could potentially get some icing that could happen in that southern borderline between Virginia and North Carolina. So that's a possibility. So now let's move into our 48. Okay. So our 48, high pressure is still there. Low pressure, that low pressure that you see that's in the border between Indiana and Ohio, that's going to steadily give way to a new low pressure system that's going to develop off the Cape Hatteras or around that North Carolina Virginia border. It's called a transfer. We're going to see a transfer of energy. We're going to see a transfer of energy. and the initial low pressure is going to give way to another low pressure that's going to form off the coast of North Carolina and Virginia, and that's going to be the coastal storm that you're going to see a lot of people talking about right now on these right now in the media and stuff like that, things of that nature. They're talking about this coastal storm. It's how we form what they call nor'easters. These are the storm systems that track up the coast, up the Atlantic coast, and they pull down this cold air. We get sometimes blizzard-like conditions. If winds are strong enough for a period of time, we get blizzard-like conditions, and we also get coastal flooding. Sometimes you get coastal flooding due to high tide, with the winds pushing the water up along the coast, which is a possibility with this system as well. If you live in Jersey Shore, the Jersey Shore, Long Island, getting up to New England, up into Nantucket and Cape Cod, those places like that. So let's go on to hour 54. Hour 54, and as you see, it's not yet. We're still dealing with the upper air system that's left over from that initial system that's sitting now in Ohio, and now we're going to start giving way to that new system. So it's going to pop up soon. It's in formation mode right now, and this is that we're talking about. This period now is Saturday night time period, Sunday morning time period, where we could get that transfer. We see that transfer of energy. So let's move it up. Let's keep moving it up to the next hour, and that's hour 60. And hour 60, yeah, here we go. This is the complete transfer at hour 60, according to the GFS. At hour 60, we're going to see that new low pressure system. If you can zoom in on the screen, we'll see it clearly. That's sitting off Cape Hatteras in North Carolina. That's the new system that we're talking about now. The current transfer is now complete. Transfer energy is now complete. The upper air pattern, the upper air, and I want to also make mention that these ice lines that you see, those red and blue lines that you see, that's indicative of the jet stream pattern. The isobars, the jet stream pattern, which is crucial in the track of this storm. And the northern jet stream and the southern jet stream, which is the moisture, which is going to feed this new storm, and that cold air is going to come down with that northern jet stream. Where those two meet is where the new storm develops. Where those two jet streams meet is where the new system develops. So now the jet streams seem like they're going to meet at a crucial point, which is just off Cape Hatteras. At this point, there's going to be the track of the storm is crucial because there's two different types of scenarios that could happen. So we're going to play it out here. Let's move this. Let's move the time frame up, and we're going to see what we're talking about. We're going to move it up to hour 66. Yes. So hour 66 has our low pressure system where? It has our low pressure system sitting due east of, say, the Tidewater, right? Due east of the Tidewater, sitting right off the coast. Right now, it's snowing in central PA, snowing in northern Jersey, and the snow is starting to come into New York City, right? So it's already snowing, and there is rain to the south. Coastal Jersey, Delaware, and possibly some rain getting into DC and Baltimore. That's the mixing. That's that mixed bag. That's what I'm talking about, the rain-snow line. That's why the storm track is so crucial. Where that storm tracks to, how close to the coast it is, or how far away it is. Farther away keeps the precipitation, the heaviest precipitation, strictly along the coast. Less further inland. Closer to the coast, or right at the sweet spot, will bring a nice swath of snow inland to inland areas, and possibly a nice swath of snow for the coast. But too close to the coast, too much mixing. Sweet spot, which is right in the middle, everyone gets in a little piece of the action. Too far away will make this a southern storm, more so for the Mid-Atlantic region, and maybe very little snow to the north, which will cut accumulations down in places like northern New Jersey, New York City, getting into Boston, Connecticut, and possibly central PA as well. But if we get the guidance going to show where we get the sweet spot, then all of us will get some nice snows. So let's continue moving this thing forward a little bit before we break out and I show some more different things here. Let's go to hour 72. Yeah, hour 72 brings us good, man. Look at that. Sweet spot. So now if we can zoom in just a little bit. Yeah, it's good. Right there. That's good. Perfect. Yeah, so now the storm system made that trek. You know, sometimes the computer models do a little jumping around a little bit. But in general, what we have here is the storm it formed off the new storm formed off of Cape Hatteras, and now it's making the beeline along the coast. Okay, so now the storm system is sitting directly just southeast of Atlantic City. Say for instance, just southeast. Yeah, that's good. Just southeast of Atlantic City, just south of coastal New Jersey. So now darker blue shading colors indicate heavier snow. The lighter blues, a little bit moderate to light snow, right? So at this point, it's snowing pretty much DC, Baltimore, most of central and northern New Jersey, and now New York City and Long Island is getting a piece of the action, right? So that's crucial. Still rain to the South Jersey and Delaware, right? It's at least at this point, this is what the guidance is it's saying. Let's move it up. Let's move up to the next hour, and that's and we're doing step by step here. Hour 78. And doing this out of the benefit of the conversation. And I want you guys may take a notice of this, that the storm system is really not, it's like doing this dance, or like this, the computer's doing something very strange, and it's still trying to compute. We're still some hours away. So as time goes on, some of these things will start to make more sense. But the reason why you say, oh, the storm didn't really move that much, it's because it really didn't. It's a slow. This could be potentially a little slower than the last storm. If anyone can remember last time we were live last month, we went live with you last month with the last storm system. That was a fast mover. It didn't really stick around. This potentially could stick around just a little bit longer, which means whatever precipitation you have, it's going to be long. It's going to be a longer duration. It's going to be of precipitation. And in this case, it's going to be a longer duration of snow. At this point, it is snowing in central southern PA, Maryland, DMV, that's the old DMV folks, into most of New Jersey, especially I would say central and northern New Jersey, New York City, Long Island, and now the precipitation is starting to get into Connecticut, Rhode Island, and up to Boston, the Cape Cod, and Nantucket. This is now Sunday. This is not Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. This will now be Sunday, going into Sunday afternoon, and then Sunday night. So let's push the model up a little further. Let's push it up further. Let's go further, man. Let's go to what we on hour 78, hour 84. Yeah, hour 84. Hour 84. This is still with us. This is still with us, and it's still snowing from New York City all the way up to Connecticut, all the way up to Long Island and Boston. Now Boston's snowing now at this point. We can move it up now to hour 80. Let's go to let's move it up to hour 90. Skip hour 86, go straight to 90. Now the snow start to leave, and this is going into late Sunday night. Snow will stop in central southern PA. Snow will be over, and most of DMV is done. Maybe some leftover snow showers of that. Still snowing in New York City, Long Island, and now snowing intensively Connecticut up to Rhode Island, and then up to Boston. You're getting slammed hard. So now it's our storm basically from New York all the way up to New England now. And then this is Sunday night. And then eventually Monday morning, if we push it up to the next hour, which is the 100th something hour, it should show at that point the snow will be out of New York City, and this would just be a New England threat. If we can push it to hour 10 something, the next 6 hours, with the next 6 hours after this. That's 10. That's 102. Yeah, 102. Storm is out of here at this point. Storm is pulling out again. Snow, maybe some leftover snow. Boston, the Cape. Maybe snow. Maybe rain will transfer over to snow a little bit in the Cape. That's to be determined. But snowing in Boston up into Vermont and then eventually Maine, and this will be just a New England snow event at this point. So this will give us a good. This gave us a good scenario. So we're gonna pull out of here. We don't need this. We don't need we don't need this site no more at this point. We could pull it off the screen. In fact, I'm gonna pull something else on the screen now. Show you all before we let you go for the night. I know it's just intense, but we have to make it intense because it's potential. We want to discuss now a little bit into the European. The European model is again due to the tropical tripits and folks are not able to get us the European model on the precipitous side. We're only able to see the upper level atmospheric side of the European model, and I think that's due to copyrights and like just this European things over there. But nevertheless, we are able to pull up some screenshots of the model, especially the runs that came in of recent. In fact, what we're going to show is the recent suite for the 18Z GFS, which is what we just saw. I think that was either the 18Z. That might have been the 6Z. And sometimes these models, what happens especially with the GFS, they have different suites or different hour increments. So one may come out every 6 hours or run every 6 hour increments, and then the others run also in different increments of time as well. So they're like different variables of the same model. That's what I wanted to get. Different variables of the same model. Different outputs. This is the 18Z precipitation or snow ratio precipitation output according to the track of the solar system. Now, I don't want to get people to get too excited. This is just data that's just been inputted. It's just been inputted, and the computer model is just spitting out information. Obviously, it's Friday night. Talking about Sunday, you may say it's still time. So Friday night, overnight tonight, and into Saturday, especially that Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon time, is going to be crucial to nailing this down. But I'm going to show it to you guys anyway. And my disclaimer is that we don't get too excited. We don't get too excited. Because why you don't get too excited is because sometimes what happens is that, like I said, it's two scenarios. Either the storm system will track in the sweet spot, which is generally what you see here is the sweet spot, which is literally not too far away from the coast, not too near the coast. It's a straight balance beeline. And in this model, you see the darker pinks, my beloveds. The darker pinks is very heavy snow, man. We're talking about a foot or more potentially. This is again just a potential. Just to give you a look-see, just to give you a sneak peek. This is central southern PA. Looks like smack dab right into it. Darker pinks. We talk about again in general 12 to 15 inches of snow. Locally higher amounts. I see some 18 inches, some 17 inches of snow, and that's even stretched all the way back into DC and even back into that parts of the Baltimore and DC, but mainly uphill Maryland could get slammed too. That uphill part of Maryland could potentially get slammed, and then we could follow that pinkish, dark pink all the way into central New Jersey and northern New Jersey. So if you live generally up New Jersey, I would say definitely getting to Patterson, getting to Newark, East Orange, Jersey City, and in central New Jersey, the central New Jersey area, Hackensack, New Jersey, just closer to that central New Jersey line, generally a foot there too. And then getting to New York City, that gets in there too. We could get that foot amount, and then even getting to portions of Nassau County and potentially Suffolk County, but which is a sharp cutoff getting towards the Hamptons, where we could see some mixing in towards the coast. So you notice that towards Atlantic City and like the Atlantic City towards the Jersey Shore, that southern Jersey Shore is a sharp cutoff between 4 inches in Atlantic City, and safe for you to drive more into central southern New Jersey is a difference, a disparity. That's because the coast is always a tricky forecast. Depending on that track of the storm system, we could get some warmer air from the Atlantic Ocean, relatively milder air from the Atlantic Ocean being pulled in, and that could potentially give us more in the way of sleet, maybe some rain getting in there. So that'll hold accumulation down to maybe 4, 5, maybe 6 inches. Delaware, it's the same thing. It's a tricky forecast always for Delaware as well. And DC, actually, fun fact about DC, it's been 708 days. 708 days since DC has saw a measurable snowfall of 1 inch or more. That's how much of a drought. And actually, there's been several years where we have seen droughts in DC like this, in that region. Always a tricky forecast. Always a tricky forecast along I-95 from DC to Boston. Always a tricky forecast. And then we're talking about millions of people, hundreds of millions of people that live between DC and Boston. So the impacts are greater, especially along the coast, when we talk about a nor'easter storm system with a potential like this. And so DC, you guys have been crying for snow, for some people in DC. The snow lovers have been crying for something measurable in nature, something of impact. This could potentially be it for you guys. Even if the storm system tracks further south and this impacts the Mid-Atlantic region, which will drastically cut snow accumulations in central PA, central New Jersey, New York City, Long Island, and getting up to Connecticut, Boston, to almost near, you might not get anything if that scenario points out. You might not get nothing in Boston, hardly anything in Boston and Connecticut. It's going to be a very sharp cutoff. If, in fact, the storm system tracks south and out to sea, that southern slider. Southern sliders typically favor DC, the Mid-Atlantic region, that DC, DMV, and that Virginia, North Carolina region. Southern sliders during this time of the year really favor that region. It doesn't favor us in central PA, in New Jersey, New York City, Boston, Connecticut. We need this storm to come further north. So I'm saying this to say this to put context around what is to be anticipated. The context is that those are the two scenarios. And right now, the trend is, I'm only saying the trend, is that the GFS has been steady in showing a northern trend of the storm system. So a sweet spot generally for everybody, right? The European overnight last night was, it had a little bug. Sometimes the keeper models go through these wonky bugs sometimes. So sometimes you can't pay attention to them. It'll put too much thought into it. And you come back the next day and you'll be like, oh, now it's back on track. Sometimes it happens that way. Unless there's a repetition in terms of a pattern being shown that this is the case. The European model last night, overnight at 2 a.m., showed a southern slider, showed nothing, a sharp cutoff. It showed that DC and the point south would be good for snow. Now, the European, we're going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up. I think one of these are the European model. We're going to bring that guy up and show that how he swiftly changed. The model swiftly changed the next run, today's run, earlier run of the European model. I think it was the 2 o'clock run. I think we're about to bring up the 2 o'clock run. And we're going to show you what the 2 o'clock run was putting out in terms of this system. And, let me see. Is this the European? Yeah, let's pull him up. I think this is him. Is this the European or is this it? think this is 964. Yes, this is the European model. So I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that the European model has brought the star system from the north to where it will be beloved for those living in Boston, Connecticut, Hartford, Rhode Island, New York City, Long Island, Central New Jersey. This is the sweet spot right here. Deepening low pressure that's making that's farther enough offshore, but just close enough to the coast to bring that snow. Sharp cutoff. I'm sorry. If you're living north of the Hudson Valley, going up to Poughkeepsie, Albany, this is not your storm system. No way. No way. The storm system would have to be very much closer to, very much literally hugging the coast for snow to be further up towards Poughkeepsie, especially towards Albany. So this is upstate New York. This is not your snow system this time around. This is definitely, if this is the trend, this is definitely favoring the coast more so. And lastly, just to show the GFS one more time, this is why the GFS produced the snow amounts that it produced on this. So generally you see the correlation, because literally this is from the same model run. This is the precipitation snow ratio amount, and this is the actual map of where the snow system would generally be. Again, this is an earlier run of the GFS, but they're generally showing the same positioning. Snow all the way back to central southern PA, going into central New Jersey, southern New Jersey getting a little bit of the action, northern New Jersey definitely getting into the action, New York City, Long Island, getting up to Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut, Providence, Rhode Island, and actually getting up to Boston, and some snow up to the Hudson Valley. But that Hudson Valley is going to be hard pressed. We might have to see. It's going to perhaps still be a sharp cutoff even up the Hudson Valley, but definitely not too much snow getting up to Albany and upstate New York and New Hampshire, Vermont. You don't get to some of the action till later. So lastly, just to leave you guys with this last memo of understanding from the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, our good friends at NOAA. They put this out earlier today just to warn people, early this morning at 4 a.m., potential for winter storm for the Mid-Atlantic Northeast early next week. And just to highlight, again, we went over the forecast surface map, which is that positioning of the low pressure system, the transfer of energy, as you see there, from that low that sits in that West Virginia, Ohio place, and transferring its energy to that new storm system that will give shape and give form, that will form literally right off the Cape Hatteras and probably around the tidewater of Virginia. Probability forecast of snowfall greater than 2 inches or more between 7 a.m. Eastern Saturday to 7 a.m. Eastern Monday is the darker colors is indicative of a high chance, and that is due to the trends with the models. There's an increase in optimism that this will definitely give more than 2 inches of snow in DC, Baltimore. You have a 70% chance. That stretches all the way up into central southern PA, 70% chance in York and around that central southern state of PA, and eventually, of course, that trend also gets into DC. Into New Jersey, into New York City, as you see in the probability forecast that's next after that to the due right of that probability of snowfall greater than 2 inches for 7 a.m. Eastern Tuesday to 7 a.m. Eastern Wednesday. This is not how long the snow is going to take place, by the way. This is just due to the models, the graphics, and the forecast models. Precipitation is measured like this after the snow system has occurred. So the probability, again, of seeing 2 inches or more is great. That darker blue shade is the sweet spot. Central southern PA, uphill Maryland, getting into central northern New Jersey is that sweet spot. The green area is not. It's good too. I mean, that's a 50% chance to have 50% and between 50 and 70% optimism at this time is pretty high. You said it's pretty high optimism and confidence in that this will take place. So this lets you know. So just because you're not in the darker blue shade, say for instance you're in New York City, Long Island, and Connecticut, and up to Boston, you're wondering like, well, I guess where confidence is low. No, 50%, 40 to 50% at this point is pretty high. Still pretty high optimism. So just take it easy for the snow lovers. I know us the snow lovers can get a little disgruntled fast. Let's not get too disgruntled and just monitor the trends. But that's what we do here. We monitor the trends and we look for the trends. We look for the patterns. What the patterns saying, what the trends are saying. And then we just wait and see what happens. Let's read the language. Storm system moving through the central U.S. on Sunday will likely transition off the Mid-Atlantic coast early Monday, spreading accumulating snow from Ohio Valley into the central Appalachians and Mid-Atlantic, and the potential exists for the system to deepen off the coast Monday before it lifts northeast through Tuesday. As this occurs, snow will expand from the Mid-Atlantic into the northeast. There remains uncertainty in the evolution and track of the system, which could result in significant shifts in snow accumulations. So that's why I had to preface this conversation when we talk about snowfall amounts. This evening, I'm not going to give you I'm not going to do that, guys. I'm not going to give you guys a bust. I'm not going to do that. I think at this point, I would strongly say, at this point, the potential is greater, or the potential is rising. The potential is rising for a significant event to take place. And where and who, that, again, is to be determined. But another thing I can say, too, is that definitely for those who are living in the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, and New England, parts of New England, definitely need to stay tuned as we provide here on the On Point Weather Report, live here on the Eco Beloved page, streaming live, simulcasting on the Freedom Exchange, that will try to bring you the latest information as it comes, as it arrives. So anticipate, you shall see me, God willing, Creator willing, tomorrow, back here for another update. When more guidance comes in tonight, as we end overnight tonight, 10 o'clock, 2 a.m. tonight, there's going to be more guidance rolling in. And as that guidance rolls in, this is the crucial hours. What we're in now is the crucial hours from forecasting. Crucial hours. And a lot of us, this is where the fun begins. And also where the stress comes in for some, especially for those who've been doing this type of work for a long time. You start pulling out your hairs because the storm systems act wonky. Anything can happen. Or it cannot happen. So that's when you just start losing gray hairs and people start asking questions. I enjoy people asking questions. I love the people asking questions. So if you have any questions tonight, and it just comes to you after dinner or whatever, you want to drop in a question, feel free to drop in the question in the comment section, even after this live stream. And we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And we'll bring those questions, either answer those questions live, in fact, tomorrow on our broadcast. So without that, I think we are done for this evening. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all for tuning in. And for those who tune in to the stream after, again, welcome. Appreciate you all tuning in. Please share this stream. Please share the stream to your friends and to your family. Feedback and commentary and ideas is always appreciative of hearing from you all. And I hope everyone has a great Friday evening, the rest of your Friday evening. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope everyone has a blessed weekend. And Creator willing, we shall see you back here Saturday night. Well, maybe Saturday night. Maybe I'll come on earlier. It depends. But definitely stay tuned for updates as we go about tonight. So with that, I bid you all have a great rest of your Friday evening. And we shall see you all soon. And I want us to end with a beautiful song. Let's see if we can get a beautiful song to end with tonight for you all. We want to end something beautiful, you know. We do got a array of songs. Let me see. I'm gonna pick something new for you guys, and we're going to end. Yeah, we're going to end something sweet for you guys tonight, and something sweet for you guys too. Shout out to our friends at New Freedom Pie. They shall be back soon, created willing, with that new cake, with the cake that tastes like cake. It's like a mixture between a cake, a pie, and a cake, and it's a crazy mixture, man. It's something that you guys should try out. They're coming back in February, and God, creator willing, next week or so we should be hearing an announcement. So stay tuned for all those who want to order us a pastry, you know, and support our brothers and sisters at New Freedom Pie. And with that, we bid you all have a good evening, and I will see you all soon, God willing, tomorrow. Peace and blessings. Good night.
Feeling really emotional, man. Bravo, I appreciate you, man. Mac, I appreciate you, man. Davey, what's up, man? It's our time, man. Listen to that. Jesse Jackson, he said that we are somebody. America treat us like we ain't nobody. We need help from somebody. I'm getting tired of seeing black bodies. We'll be okay, that's what my mama said. We unhealed, that's what the trauma said. Yes, we can. That's what Obama said. American terror. That's what Osama said. You want to break something, go and break the ceiling. You want to start something, go and start the healing. How you want to raise hell but won't raise your children? Want to burn a building but won't start building. I want the violence to decrease, whether it's the streets or it's the police. Yo, be a real one. Stay away from snakes. I gotta make a change, no time to waste.
Tell me what you see when you look at me. Is it something that you hate, or something that you wanna be? Help me understand how you can be so mad at my existence. On our way to freedom, on our way to freedom, fighting for our freedom, fighting for our freedom. On our way to freedom, on our way to freedom, fighting for our freedom, fighting for our freedom.
The system ain't broken, doing what it's supposed to do, realest words spoken. Kill us in live and live in color, brother choking, called on his mother, dead in the open. Anybody go and break some glass. It take a real one, bro, to give a class. Anyone can pull a gun and start to blast, but it takes a real man to give a pass. Be proactive, not reactive. How I make a change, Bashir? Be active. Boy, you go and sell some dope, but won't go and vote. Father left early, he don't know how to cope. I came too far, boy can't fail. They said I'm a sellout, shit, what I sell? I don't never fold, I don't never fold. And what's not for sale, brother, is my soul. Question you gotta answer, brother, what's your goal? You wanna be a diamond or stay cold? You gotta change the system. Shit, you can break a window, but they gon' fix them. My point is, you expect a racist to change? He ain't the problem. You gotta change your brain. Benefit from oppression, but when you gon' change and learn the lesson, when you gon' realize that you a blessing, gotta work in the afterlife, I'll do my resting. When you gon' realize that you the blessing, gotta work in the afterlife, I'll do my resting. It's the truth.
Freedom is not won by a passive acceptance of suffering. Freedom is won by a struggle against suffering. Racial understanding is not something that we find, but something that we must create. What is needed is a realization that power without love is reckless. and abusive, and that love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love, implementing the demands of justice. Justice at its best is love, correcting everything that stands against